In this lecture, we will start setting up the CI/CD pipeline for our React application. So if we scroll down here, we find here setup CI/CD. So let's click on it. So here we will choose the second option to create our CI/CD pipeline from scratch. So let's click on Start Building. So here we have our pipeline editor. So I will remove everything and I will paste this pipeline configuration. So here, first of all, we give a name to our pipeline. We call it React App Pipeline. And here, using the rules keyword, we specify when we want to trigger the pipeline. So here we have two if conditions. In the first condition, we use the OR operator. So we want to trigger the pipeline if the commit branch is main or the commit branch start with the word feature. So whenever we commit to the main branch or we commit to a branch starting with the word feature, we want to trigger the pipeline. Okay. So here I will add the one keyword and I will set it to always. In the second condition, we use the AND operator. So here we tell GitLab that we want to trigger the pipeline on the merge request event when the merge request source branch start with the word feature. Okay. So here in the second condition, we tell GitLab that we want to trigger the pipeline when we create a merge request from a branch starting with feature. For the stages, now we have only the test stage and we have only one job. It is called unit testing. I will change its name to unit test. So here the unit test job is part of the test stage. For the job image, we set it to Node Alpine to avoid installing Node in the buffer script. Okay. So because here we will need Node to be installed, either we have to use an image already having Node installed, or we use another image that doesn't have Node and we install it in the before script. Okay. So here it is better to set the job image to an image having Node installed, like the Node Alpine Docker image. Then here in the before script, we will execute the npm install command to install the packages needed for the application. And then in the script section, we execute npm run test to execute the unit tests of the application. So that's all about the pipeline. Now I want to commit the changes, but I don't want to commit them to the main branch. So I want to create a new branch, but here I cannot create another branch. So I will open the repository. And here I will go to code and open the repository in the web IDE. So here we have our project. So now I have to create the .gitlab-ci.yml file to add the configuration of the pipeline. So now we will move the pipeline configuration to the .gitlab-ci.yml file. So now let's commit the changes. So we click here on this icon. And here we can commit and push to main, but we want to create a new branch. I will call the new branch feature/setting up CI/CD. So the changes was committed to the new branch. So if we go back here to the repository, now if we go to build pipelines, so here we see that a pipeline was triggered and it was completed successfully when we commit the changes to the feature/setting up CI/CD branch. So let's go here to the pipeline. So here in the pipeline, we have only one stage, and in this stage, we have only one job called unit tests. So here the unit test job starts by preparing the executor and then preparing the environment. And then here it gets the source from the Git repository. If we go here to the step script section, so it executes first of all the npm install to install the packages needed for the application. And then it executes the npm run test to execute the unit tests of the application. So here the job was completed successfully, but we didn't see the result of the execution of the unit tests because we specified in the configuration of vtest that we want to put the test result in a file called gunit report.xml. Okay, so if we go back here to the repository and we go here to code our repository, so let's go here to vtest.config.ts. So here we specified that we want to put the test results in a file called gunit report.xml. That's why here we didn't see the result of executing the unit tests. Okay. In the next lecture, we will see how to work with artifacts to upload the JUnit report containing the result of executing unit tests. So that's all for now, and see you next time.